Kelly's Droman and Morgan Stone set off to deal with Teddy Two Fingers at an undisclosed location. But Teddy, Haimana, and Agnetha attacked Droman's Barren Heights mansion with magic and with flame-throwing aerial drones that set Droman's living guardian trees and much of the mansion ablaze. Lincoln and Billy, who were guarding Delilah Droman, fought against Agnetha and Haimana's murderous giant flying centipedes. Lincoln had downed a bottle of whiskey, cheers, which slowed his reaction time and let a drone get the drop on him. The drone fired a jet of flame that should have set Lincoln ablaze, but Billy somehow bent the flame toward himself and absorbed it, bringing it into his own body and making him so hot his clothes burned away. Billy was about to use this new power against Agnetha when a shot rang out. A bullet hit his shoulder, dropping him. Keg-sized killer beetles ripped the floor out from under Delilah. Lincoln dove after her, but lost her in the smoke. She was taken by Agnetha, Teddy, and Haimana, who shot across Barren Heights and vanished into the night. Lincoln, unable to chase them, rushed to help Billy. And now, episode 57 of Slay. Lincoln sprang up through the hole. He landed next to Billy, who lay naked on the scorched and melted carpet, a cloud of orange aura rising up from the bullet wound in his shoulder, red blood trickling down from it. Both things were very bad. Billy could die from blood loss, shock from his innate filaments boiling away, or both. He moved slightly, his eyes open and his pupils wide. "I'm here, kid," Lincoln said. "I got you." Lincoln bunched up his leather cloak, his motion slow and awkward. He was still feeling the effects of the booze. He pressed the cloak hard against the bullet wound. Billy grunted in pain, but didn't resist. The room stank of gasoline, burning hair, from the wool carpet probably, and still smoldering centipede meat. Smoke hung in the air, oozed out the hole where the window had been. Outside, arbor vitae and other trees continued to burn. Lincoln heard flames crackling on the roof as well. "I think I got shot," Billy said. "Did someone shoot me?" "Afraid so. Let me work on it. It's not that bad." That was a lie. The wound was bad. The filaments that made up the orange aura should have been wiggling around inside the wound, working to knit damaged flesh together. That they just spilled out into the air told Lincoln that Teddy had used no heel coating on his bullets. With his free hand, Lincoln reached into the folds of his cloak and found his first aid kit. He had to stop the bleeding and the boiling. How could Billy have so much aura in him? He'd barely even begun training. A gust of wind whipped through the hole in the wall, driving the curtains inward like flags in a storm. The wind whipped up ash and burned clothes, but was gone almost as soon as it had begun. The curtains dropped down again. Lincoln glanced out the hole. All the tree fires were out. "Delilah!" Droman, outside, bellowing with fury and anguish. A thick strand of tightly packed vines came through the hole like the tendril of a great green kraken. Droman slid along that vine and into the room. He hopped off just as another mini hurricane wind blast roared, this time snapping the curtains outward. Droman looked at Lincoln and Billy, then around the scorched, smoldering room at the dead giant centipedes. "Delilah!" he yelled. "Delilah, where are you?" Lincoln braced for impact. "She's gone. Teddy took her." Green fire flared from eyes narrowed to hateful slits. Droman's fist-sized emerald necklace pulsed like green lightning trapped in clear ice. "You're lying," he said. "Where is my daughter?" The ivy crown ringing Droman's head wriggled and flowed and weaved. His forest green robes rippled from some internal storm of energy, stored up and ready to burst outward like an exploding nuke. Lincoln needed to stand up, to prepare to fight for his life, for Billy's life, but he had to see to his friend's wound. Teddy took her, Billy said, pain warbling his words. We tried to stop him, Mr. Droman. We gotta find her. Droman's green fire winked out, revealing eyes brimming with shock and disbelief. The dagger of guilt drove deeper into Lincoln's soul. You let him take her, Droman said in a haunting whisper. You let Teddy take my daughter. Another gust of wind. Morgan's stone floated through the hole, long-bladed Naginta on one hand. She landed light as a feather. Was she a wind wizard? At a glance, Morgan took in the centipedes, Lincoln and Billy, then looked to Droman. Delilah's gone, he said. Morgan's eyes widened, her shoulders sagged, but only for a moment. The fires are extinguished. Morgan knelt next to Billy. I've got him, Franks. Give me room to work. Lincoln remembered Stone working on Delilah's arm, an arm that Lincoln had accidentally broken. The girl had been good as new in minutes. He stood and he stepped aside. Droman sagged, stumbled a half-step, put a hand against the wall. His shimmer of power flickered, faded, and went out. Lincoln knew how the man felt. He knew it all too well. Droman despaired because Lincoln had failed. Delilah was gone because Lincoln had failed. You were going after Teddy, Lincoln said. What happened? Billy hissed in pain. Be still, William, Morgan said. This will only take a moment. Droman turned, put his back against the wall, slid down it, and sat on the pink carpet. It was a ruse. He sounded like a man who had just had his soul ripped from his body. In the patchwork, a small castle in Hades, Haimana, she crafted a glamour, let me discover it, made me think I had tracked them down at long last. The best glamour I had ever seen. It felt so real. When we went in and saw what it was, I knew we'd taken the bait. We rushed back. Billy hissed again, but not as bad as the first time. Dull pain flared in Lincoln's right thigh, pain that had been there all along, but he had blocked it out. The huge beetle had pincered his armor hard enough to bend meshwork steel. Lincoln quickly pulled off his gauntlets, found the hidden catches on his thigh armor, and released them. He tossed the dented steel onto the burned carpet. With haunted eyes, Droman looked at Lincoln. I hired you to protect my daughter, he said. To protect her. The hopelessness in the mage's voice made Lincoln wish for Droman's fury to return. Anger could be fought with anger, and for Lincoln, anger came easy. But this, Droman deflated, destroyed. It was all Lincoln could do to remain standing, to not drop to the floor himself. Haimana's better than I knew, Droman said. She destroyed my vine golems. They are downstairs, eaten by locusts. I don't know how she got them in. They used machines to burn my trees. They played me like a fiddle. He again looked at Lincoln. You told me to stay home and protect Delilah myself. You told me. I didn't listen. Droman's head drooped. You will be fine, William, Morgan said. You need to rest and heal. Let me help you up. Morgan gripped Billy's non-injured arm, pulled him to his feet. Some kind of seaweed or other plant was wrapped around his shoulder wound. He looked like he could barely stand on his own. Thank you, Billy said. Could I get something to wear? Billy was naked, the hand of his good arm covering his crotch. Lincoln willed his cloak to unfasten. He removed it, draped it around Billy's shoulders. I'll find you some clothes, Morgan said, and hurried out of the room. The cloak fit Billy well. You saved my life, Lincoln said. You absorbed that fire. It would have lit me up. How did you do that? The drone's fire jet would have set Lincoln ablaze because Lincoln's reaction time hadn't been what it should have been. I got no idea, Billy said. I can barely remember what happened. I just did it. Link, we gotta find Delilah. Teddy's a kidnapper, right? He'll ask for a ransom. Mr. Droman can pay it. He's rich. Right, Mr. Droman? Droman said nothing. Lincoln knew why. Teddy doesn't always ask for a ransom, Lincoln said. It's actually pretty rare that he does. Billy's face wrinkled. He doesn't ask for money? Realization hit him. Oh, yeah. The Nightmare Factory thing. We gotta go get her, Link. We gotta. Those words were a deep cut. One among thousands. We will, kid, Lincoln said. Another lie. He'd never been able to find Teddy's sweatshop. No one had. Not even the mighty Kellius Droman. Link squatted down on his heels in front of the defeated mage. I'd say something to try and comfort you, Droman, but you'd see right through that shit, Lincoln said. Trust me when I say I have more experience than you do at feeling the way you feel right now. I don't care that I couldn't find Teddy before, and I don't care if you think Teddy can't be found. I'm gonna find him. When you're done with your pity party, let me know, because I need all the help I can get. We're gonna find the motherfucker who hurt our children. Droman lifted his head just enough to look up from under his brows. You faced him twice since we met, he said. You lost both times. You failed your child, Franks, and you failed mine. Get out of my sight. His head drooped again. Morgan returned with a rich, green, terry cloth robe. Lincoln held the cloak wide so Billy had a shred of privacy to put the robe on. Thanks, said Billy, tugging the belt tight. Lincoln again donned his cloak, willed it to fasten around his neck. He wore the armor and cloak of a Rixator, someone dedicated to protecting the innocent. In all his life, he had never felt like such a fraud. I put out the fires, Morgan said. I will begin the repairs to the wards and protections and improve them in case Haimana strikes again. Lincoln nodded, but he knew Haimana would not return. That wasn't how Teddy worked. Teddy had gotten what he wanted and would not put himself at risk of Droman's wrath again, just as he had never put himself at risk of Lincoln's wrath. Teddy would hide away until the next time he needed fresh meat for his sweatshop. Morgan quietly picked up Lincoln's thigh armor, handed it to him, then gestured to the door. Lincoln, William, I will see you to the transit node and send you home. I'm real sorry, Mr. Droman, Billy said. Mr. Droman, we tried. We'll get Delilah back. You'll see. Droman did not look up. He was a broken man, just like Lincoln was. Lincoln and Billy followed Morgan out of Delilah's room. She was in Cordis. Where in Cordis, she didn't know. All she knew for sure was that they had transited her and that she was scared. So scared. You're being quiet, Haimana said. That's a good girl. You always were a good girl. The thin hood over Delilah's head blocked any sight, but it didn't obstruct her hearing, especially when Haimana leaned in so close, Delilah could feel the woman's breath through the hood's thin fabric. Daddy's going to kill you, Delilah said. He won't let you go this time. Delilah felt a strong hand on the back of her neck, felt the sharp points of coffin nails. She remembered when Haimana had been her father's student, remembered how pretty Haimana's nails always were. Back then, at 7 years old, Delilah had wanted to look like Haimana. Delilah had wanted to be Haimana. He didn't let me go, little one, Haimana said. I left. You were too young to remember. But that wasn't true. Delilah had been young, yes, but she remembered all of it. Her ability to remember things, even things from an early age, often freaked her dad out. Would Daddy rescue her? Delilah didn't know. He was always busy doing something else, always off somewhere else, leaving her at home. Maybe he would be too busy to come for her. Daddy wasn't like Lincoln. Lincoln would come for her. Delilah didn't know how she knew that. She just did. Lincoln would come, and he would kill them all. The hood didn't block her sense of smell either. Daddy had sent her to enough equestrian lessons that she knew a horse when she smelled one. She was in a horse-drawn carriage, or something along those lines, bumping over cobblestone streets. Her, Teddy Two Fingers, Haimana, and that awful woman with a centipede for an arm. Delilah, Haimana said, I'm going to give you some advice. For old time's sake, what Teddy tells you to do, you do. It will go better for you that way. Things will go better when Daddy crucifies you on a mulberry bush, Delilah said. The words were out of her mouth before she knew it. The hand gripping the back of her neck squeezed harder, and this time the coffin nail points dug in. Don't damage her, Teddy said. I might still ransom her. Haimana laughed derisively, but her hand relaxed. You won't ransom her, she said. As I told you, this girl is worth more than all the others combined. The carriage stopped. That remains to be seen, Teddy said. Agnetha, bring her. Now Delilah felt breath on her other ear, heard the crinkle clatter of many thin legs scraping against metal. You can walk and not give me any problems, or I can carry you, Agnetha said. Which would you prefer? The crinkle, clatter sound increased. Delilah knew what it was. Agnetha liked to put her grotesque centipede arm against her breastplate, so dozens of thin legs drummed against the steel the way someone might drum their fingers on a desktop. The woman did that to intimidate. And it worked. I'll walk, Delilah said. I won't give you any trouble. I promise. A door opened. Delilah sensed a change in the light. It was nighttime in Cordis. Was the light from a street lamp? Solid choice, Agnetha said. And don't bother screaming. It's after hours. By the time anyone comes, your guts will be cooling on the cobblestones. Got it? Delilah nodded. Agnetha gripped Delilah's shoulder, guided her path. The footing changed from cobblestone to tile. They were inside a building. It was cold. Delilah's sweatshirt had burned when Billy caught fire. Was Billy okay? Was Lincoln okay? The footing changed from tile to wood, slightly shaky, as if the floor beneath her moved when someone took a step. Delilah sensed the room was small. Teddy tight to one side, Agnetha on the other, and Haimana close as well. Down, Teddy said. Delilah jerked as the floor seemed to drop beneath her. She was in an elevator. She heard pulleys rolling. I'm going to put you right to work, Teddy said. We will see if Haimana is correct about you. Delilah realized, suddenly, She was descending to Teddy Two Fingers' sweatshop, the factory that harvested filaments from children's nightmares. Lincoln had told her about it. Sam had been here. "I won't work for you," Delilah said. "I don't know what you want me to do, but I won't do it." She wished she could see. The bag over her head smelled. "I'll wager you'll change your mind," Teddy said. "You will be my foreman and manage the output. My current foreman can't handle the gig, so I'm demoting her down to the line. I want you to see what that means." The elevator kept going down and down and down. "I'm in the mood for pizza," Teddy said. "Hi, Mana, you up for a pie?" And down. "You know I am lactose intolerant," Haimana said. "Why must you get pizza?" And down. "Your imaginary condition doesn't dictate the menu," Teddy said. "Agnetha, pizza?" And down. "I could eat," Agnetha said. "You don't want burgers?" And down. Teddy huffed. "Oh, I'm sick of burgers." And down and down and down. Delilah heard a new sound, a muffled sound. She couldn't place it, but it disturbed her. The elevator stopped. She heard one of those old accordion gates slide open. Agnetha grabbed her arm, pushed her forward. The footing changed from wood to stone. Delilah walked. As she did, she finally placed the disturbing noise. It was muffled and tinny, but there was so much of it coming from both sides. Children shrieking in terror. The tinniness. The children were behind closed doors, metal doors. And another noise, too, also tinny, also obstructed. It sounded like owls. "Here we are," Teddy said. Delilah heard the jangle of metal keys, then one sliding into a lock, then the metal screech of old hinges. Agnetha turned her 90 degrees, gently but firmly pushed her forward, stopped her after only a few steps. The hinges screeched again. Delilah heard the gong of a metal door closing. "This is your predecessor," Teddy said. The hood was yanked from Delilah's head. In front of her, a little black-haired girl lay on a table. Not a rectangular table, but more like a flat cutout in the shape of a person with arms, legs, and a spot for the head. The shape was child-sized. Thick, 2-foot-long stick bugs were upside down under the cutout, their spindly legs reaching up and over, locking down on the little girl's limbs, holding her fast. The stick bugs were motionless, save for their antennae, which moved slowly, angling this way and that. Delilah couldn't breathe. Was she already in a nightmare? The girl's head turned. Snot coated her lip, hung from her nose. Tears glazed the red skin of her eyes. She squinted. "Delilah?" Delilah's stomach did flip-flops. Her heart pinched. She recognized the girl. Gabriella Radu. They had been at summer camp together in the south of France. Delilah had been a counselor in training. Gabriella had been one of the younger girls in her cabin. The girl started crying again, but also smiling, also laughing. "You're here to save me," she said. "Have you come to save me? Get my dad, Delilah. Get my dad." This wasn't happening. This wasn't happening. "As you can see, she's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I should have known an adult couldn't manage my production line." A hoot, like an owl, but not. More of a hoot gurgle. A hungry sound. Another hoot, more urgent than the first. At the base of the table, down on the stone floor, lay a wicker basket. Wicker lid closed. That's where the hoot had come from. "Delilah," Gabriella said through choked sobs. "Get my parents, please. Get my mom. Don't let him do this to me. Don't let him do this to me." Delilah felt numb inside, as cold as a rock on the shore of a frozen river. "Time is money," Teddy said. "Let's get started. Watch and learn, little Droman. Someday soon, you will be called upon to perform this rite." He sat on the floor in front of the wicker basket, his leather pants creaking as he tucked his cowboy-booted feet into the lotus position. "I hate this," Haimana said. "I will wait outside." Was that disgust Delilah heard in the bug witch's voice? Fear? Both? Teddy waved a hand dismissively. Go get yourself some fake cheese." Agnetha held the door open. Haimana walked out, her red kimono flowing. Agnetha shut the door behind her. Teddy spread his arms. He dipped his head, flipped it up fast, flinging his long silver hair behind him. "Bujanyasa, sumuya," he said. The wicker basket's lid shot upward so hard it bounced off the ceiling. It fell, hit the stone floor, and bounced away. Something inside the basket. Something made of dry, flaky flesh, colored a sickly gray. Whatever it was, it made Delilah want to turn and run. Teddy began to moan, to sway slightly from side to side. From the basket, a finger? Elephant gray, cracked skin. A finger with too many knuckles. Fingernail black and chipped, spotted with ochre mold. It was no insect. Nothing of Haimana's doing. This was older. Far older. Delilah's body decided for her, made her turn and run, but she'd barely moved before a thick centipede arm coiled around her, body squeezing and legs wiggling, holding her tight. The centipede's nauseating, eyeless head swung in front of her face, its fat, black, pointed pincers spread wide, ready to snap. "Watch, girl," Agnetha said. "You will watch." The centipede arm turned Delilah roughly, made her face toward Teddy and the basket before him. "Bahi, agutuyatut," Teddy said. "Yajnum sviv kurut." The finger extended from the basket. Too many knuckles, stretched toward Gabriella's feet, almost as if it was sniffing her. Delilah's heart filled with revulsion, with a desperate need to not see what was about to happen. "Let me go!" She shut her eyes tight. "Let me go! Let me go! Let me go! Let me go!" She felt a shifting of the centipede arm that held her motionless, felt the long body slide around her. And then something sharp and pointy touched her eyelids. No. The pointy somethings pulled. Her eyes opened, stayed open, held that way by the centipede's hooked pincers. More legs, thin and cold, wrapped around her forehead and cheeks, held her head iron still. She stared straight ahead, unable to do anything else. Teddy kept swaying, kept moaning. More fingers extended from the wicker basket, 6 in total, moving like jointed tentacles, clustered close together and pointing forward like the tentacles of a squid. They grabbed Gabriella's feet and pulled. The thing hauled itself out of the basket, the 6 gray fingers and a reddish body the size of a fist, and a tail, soft and vile, dotted with yellow mold and oozing open sores. a dreamgaunt. The beast pulled itself up onto Gabriella's shins. Gabriella looked down her body, saw the 6 fingers pulling the flesh fist over her knees, up her thighs. The little girl screamed. She screamed so loud Delilah heard vocal cords snap and fray. The dreamgaunt's diseased fingers pulled its body up Gabriella's thighs, to her stomach, to her chest. She thrashed, tried to break free. The stick bugs tightened their hold, locking her arms and legs down even stronger. The dreamgaunt reached Gabriella's chest. Probing fingers felt at her mouth, at her nose. She thrashed her head side to side, screamed, cried. Gabriella begged, calling to her father who could not help her. The dreamgaunt pulled itself up until its fist-sized body rested on her throat. 4 of the 2 long fingers gripped her face, held her head perfectly still. The remaining 2 fingers rose up like multi-jointed snakes, then plunged straight into her eyes. Gabriella screamed louder, maybe, but Delilah wasn't sure because her own screams drowned out all else. 2 fingers angled toward Gabriella's ears, then drove in to the base knuckle. The last 2 fingers slid deep into her nostrils. Gabriella shrieked in terror and unimaginable agony, and kept shrieking until the long tail with its oozing open sores drove into her screaming mouth and down her throat. Gabriella fell still. Only her chest moved, slowly rising and falling. Teddy stood. He brushed his hands together, then brushed off the seat of his leather pants. "The dreamgaunt will make her worst fears a constant reality," he said. "She will produce filament for us at a high rate. You, little Droman, will oversee that production and make sure we hit the quotas I set for you. I will teach you how to do it. If you don't meet the quota," he gestured to the dreamgaunt with its horrid fingers deep in Gabriella's eyes, ears, and mouth, "then you will be put on the line. Do you understand?" The centipede released Delilah's head. She nodded. She nodded as hard as she could. I understand, she said. "I'll do it. Just please don't put that thing on me, please." Teddy Two Fingers smiled wide. "Fantastic," he said. "Your training begins immediately. Soon we'll have this factory humming right along. Agnetha, order that pizza. Double cheese, pepperoni, and mushrooms. Activating a gaunt makes me famished." That was episode 57 of Slay. Next up, the episode 58, because I got multiple knuckles on my fingers. And that means I can count. Good day. Ya da da la la da da da. Boom, save. Yikes. Hold on, guys. Slay. 57. All. Not logic. Put it right. Come on up, babe. There we go. my putting up an icon for pizza. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Okay, let's get rid of this. Let's go home. Go to main. Can quit this. Hey, love bug.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, good. Let me get this out your way. A had to bear witness to my absolute freak out when all the cameras shut down and all went black. 2 minutes for the fucking show started.
You did great.
Cobalt says, that was awesome. Got me out of my head. My day wasn't as bad as Lincoln and his family's day. Totally turned my day around. Thank you. Multiple kisses for you all. That's what I do. That's what I do. My job is to take you out of your life and put you into somebody else's life who's having a way fucking worse day than you are. Oops. There we go. All right, let's go to ACAM.
Feel about trying the egg cam out.
Oh, yeah, it's
very
going to
dark.
be fucking, we're going to fix that.
It's quite dark.
Like
Has
my
no,
heart. Like my black. That was, I want to know what you guys thought of the, thank you, Mother Grace. I know numbers. Let's go to here. Oh, hello, baby. Oh, look who just came in.
I don't know why this looks so blue. Oh, that's quite loud.
What is going,
Just my headphones are quite loud.
something's totally weird. Gosh darn.
And the crowd goes wild.
Okay, I mean, tons and tons of problems.
You know what we got?
it is
we got
every time.
solutions. Maybe.
That is off. Your headphones are on, right?
They are.
Okay, so here everything sounds fine. Now I'm gonna mute. Go ahead and talk, babe.
I am talking. That's better. Is my microphone loud?
I think your microphone's loud.
Yeah. Sound just went weird. Richard Bennett, yeah, we're working on it. We're trying to figure out how I can listen and also talk without blowing out my eardrums.
Okay, let's see. It sounds like, let's get me unconnected here. Get me unmuted because
That's good.
I sound all right, yeah, but you don't sound to go to
hello. Here. Hello.
Oh, babe, Jesus Christ.
My problem is I had this on my microphone.
Oh, my
We're
God.
having a very, very busy month.
I'll tell
This
you
sounds
what.
totally great now.
It's a good thing I love you so stinking much. Otherwise, I might give you some shit for that.
Also, I am not in the dark night of the soul. There we go. Oh, but, well, the first one was better.
You are made of the devil.
Yes.
Made of the devil.
That's a little better. That's a little better still. Yes, end user error for sure, Richard Bennett. Or an absolutely, we are having this kind of, there you go. Stop. Just stop.
Okay.
Let's just
stop.
leave that.
We're stopping right there. Okay.
There we go.
So,
You guys.
try and scooch it to me. Extend this and let's turn it. If you can get at it from that angle,
It's about damn time.
that's going to help. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your patience. Appreciate that shit.
we definitely practice safe microphoning.
Yeah.
Ooh, check one. Yes, indeed. Here we go.
Okay, let's go ahead. Now we're ready to go.
You guys.
You're still a little hot, baby. Well, always fucking hot, baby.
Today,
oh, there we go.
Today, I mentioned in the chat room on Facebook, today, our dishwasher died.
Oh.
Well, got faulty. I don't know. It's going to get fixed on Friday. It's not actually dead.
See part. Keep talking. I see part of the problem.
And since the tech came out to fix everything, he was like, that took 20 seconds. Do you want me to check all your other appliances because you've already paid for the trip? And so I was like, yeah, our fridge is fine. We don't have an ice maker because my parents had an ice maker fail when I was in college, and it cost $37,000. So we don't have an ice maker.
That's an expensive ice maker, bro.
It was, well, the failure was all the floors on the first floor. And so he was like, all right, what about a washer and a dryer? And we go down to the washer and I'm like, yeah, it gives this weird signal. And he's like, yeah, this is a great washing machine, but that signal means this is failing. It's a known problem. We should also fix that too. And you shouldn't use it before we come back. So
we can't even do the
today,
laundry now?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Did you just say laundry?
I did say laundry.
So today, our washing machine failed, our dishwasher failed,
and this all happened,
and our both cameras failed. So,
and this happened while I was writing, and always like, oh hey, why is all this water in the kitchen? So then I had to get down on it, get down on the ground, clean up the water, try and figure out where the leak was coming from, try and ascertain through a problem shooting structure what the cataclysm might be, and we figured it out, and that's when we called the guy.
Yeah. But everything should be fixed. Well, at least the appliances will be fixed on Friday. And I don't know. We'll probably order new cameras tomorrow because nobody wants another freak out. Nobody.
It's not pretty, you guys. It's not pretty at all. I know you look at this face.
Steve Ricky Mark says, washing machine failing. Cheering sound.
I know you
Totally
guys.
true.
I know you guys look at this face and think that's an absolutely composed, perfectly sane, rational, calm individual, and of course you do, because look at me. But
imagine this is tea, and I'm Kermit.
But when everything fucking melted down, I'm still under this crazy deadline. There's a lot of pressure right now, and then the fucking washing machine melts down. Had a dentist appointment today, which I have already pushed forward twice. Finally went. So I did not get my word count done today, and then all of this fucking shit goes down with the cameras. I might have pooped myself. I'm not gonna do it.
Nope.
Do I smell like poop?
No.
Let's
Okay. Not. Nope.
We're not going there.
So
okay.
Sometimes. Well, now I can't. I'm muted again.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. Look.
Yeah, we can hear you.
No. Okay.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I can't. Yeah, I can't
Keep
hear
talking.
myself. I can't. There. That's a little bit better. There we go. That's what I
the
needed.
trick. Okay.
That's what I needed.
We're gonna say this soon. Keep talking a little bit more, baby girl.
So April we knew was going to be a hard month. It turns out it's a hard month. It's a hard month. I think it's trying to kill me, but we did make it okay.
We go. That's good.
You guys heard the story. I was not prepared. You guys, if you don't know,
Excellent.
I don't see the story or read the story or know anything about the chapter before right now when you guys have the same experience. Rob and Scott, of course, write the chapter together. And review it, but I don't see it. So
It's a dark chapter, wasn't it?
I was
it's
not,
fucking dark.
I was fucking not ready. I was not ready.
Tell me more. Tell you.
Teddy Two Fingers has been this sort of weird big bad, this shadowy big bad. I should have expected that he was an asshole, but I didn't feel like he was that terrible. I thought he was going to try and be like the Candyman, like oh no kids, it's fine. But he was like, no, fuck it, you are going to work. I also want a pizza.
He's an evil motherfucker. And then so to talk about structure and craft a little bit, it was the pizza part of it was super fun because you're like, this is so blasé to him. He's like, could somebody go for a sub? I get you Subway.
It was
Subway?
terrible.
Subway?
It was terrible.
Which Rob and I have been working on this, and it's super difficult to try and bring any levity at all into this. These are kidnapped children that are being tortured to harvest their nightmares.
For their nightmares, yeah.
Not a positive situation whatsoever. But I thought that was kind of a cool way to not only get to get a beat of dark levity in, but also that's a character brushstroke for Teddy. You're like Rob's note at the end of this, after the pizza bit, was like, oh yeah, everybody's gonna want to see him die now. This is great. Like everybody's gonna hate his fucking guts.
Yeah. So I think we have some photos.
Oh yeah.
I think we should forego this until next week because we're out of time.
No, how much time we got? We'll do the photos.
We'll do the photos and then we'll do this next week. So we have some photos. A couple of weeks ago, we said, "Oh my gosh, high school photos, weird Oh look, it's crazy." And we got a handful. We didn't get a ton, but we got a handful. But I supplemented with a handful of our younger years photos, is what I will say. So I will tell you that, as I mentioned, April, crazy month. So these might be a little bit awkward. I might have to lean out of the shot or things like that because they're all different sizes.
Let me take a couple seconds here, and I need to. We're always working on the sound, so I just want to adjust this a little bit. I want this to be pointed at you, and then I want to bring this up because
up is what I need.
Can you turn that?
Maybe lefty loosey. Nope. There we go. Yes.
Tighten it, and now that should be pointed right down your gullet. Right down your gullet.
Yeah, I still can't.
Okay, yeah, because I turned your mic off, so they don't have to listen to that shit. How about now?
I can hear. Yeah, that's way better. So, what I need to tell you is there is a photo called A 8th grade.
Yeah.
That's the last photo.
Oh, I didn't set them up correctly. So.
Okay, well, we'll just wing it. They are here. We are laying ourselves before you because some of you guys shared photos too. Rob Otto wins the day, I think. Oh, or maybe my brother Jude wins the day.
Zero question. Rob Otto, this is how Empty Set works, right? So, we put in all this work, we do all this stuff,
Thanks, Chris.
Vacillate on this. Whoop, shit.
Oh, now he broke his.
Check.
Oh.
God damn it. We're spending money, baby. We're spending some fucking. You guys hear me? All right.
Yeah.
We vacillate on I work on the kernel sentence of a paragraph and the transitions and all this other shit. Spend fucking hours trying to map the emotional journey through a single chapter and then link that through all the other things that have come before it and things that are coming after it. And then fucking Rob will show up and be like, oh, she should definitely have an apple right here. And we'll be like, God damn, what the fuck? God damn it, that's fucking perfect. What are you talking about? And then Rob, so then we set up all these pictures, and then Rob drops one of his high school pictures, and it's. So I don't know where it appears in this, but here, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All I do know is that the first image is of a very young FDO. Very
young.
Even a very skinny young FDO in his first year of wrestling in the 7th grade in Cedro-Woolley, Washington. And I will let the work speak for itself, ladies and gentlemen. Oops.
Oh, nope, that's Don Shipley.
Me.
That's Don Shipley.
So we'll go through them. I fucked it up.
Yeah, that's okay.
Dramatic shit.
This is Don Shipley, who said she was going out to dinner tonight, so she's not here. But this is a gorgeous photo.
Crazy.
This is her senior portrait, and it's darling. And I love that she still has kind of the, the curling ironed bangs. I have those feels. But this is actually a beautiful photo. I love this photo. So there's another one from the 8th grade that she shared as well.
All I can do is...
That's okay.
And that
this is Angela. Okay, if you guys see this fuzzy, it is fuzzy. That was the only copy she had. But this is our dear friend Angela Clark in 1988. And this is her with her younger brother and her older brother's who became her older brother's wife.
Thanks, D7. That's nice of you.
1988. Look at all of that.
That's a lot of goddamn hair.
My favorite thing about this is Angela is a dear friend of ours. And when she sent this photo, she was like, obviously, my now sister-in-law, who is the other woman in white, Angela's right in the middle with the biggest hair, was a big Flock of Seagulls fan. And if you are my age, you know she was a big Flock of Seagulls fan.
There are several people in the pictures we're going to show you who I would sacrifice to Beelzebub tomorrow if I could have their hair. Angela is one of them. If I could have Angela, if you could take that hair, put it on my fucking head, dude, I'm selling books. I'm selling books, bro.
Rob Otto, yes, the tsunami blonde next to her is the Flock of Seagulls hair. It's so fantastic. It's so crazy. This is so 1988. That gorgeous Jessica McClintock dress in the middle. Let's go to the next one. This is, I think, this is San Francisco, right?
This is not 80s. This is adult Scott in San Francisco with his father, with Coach.
Yeah, that's what I thought. There's a couple of pictures that I just added because when I was looking for photos, I have never seen Scott with this hair, this facial hair, this whatever. And of course, I love my father-in-law.
Dude, my face lettuce was tight. Look at that crazy.
Was this the first trip they made to San Francisco?
The only trip they made to San Francisco.
That's why I wasn't sure if it was only or the first.
There's two things to mention here. Number one, my parents, who are very, hardy, tough Midwesterners.
They are.
Came out to San Francisco. And of course, they were like in their, I guess they'd be in their 50s, early 60s. Probably early 60s. No, they were in their 60s. And they never came back to San Francisco again. Do you want to know why?
I do.
Because it was too cold. And they didn't bring winter gear, and they'd walk around.
Dan Lundy.
And they complained to me nonstop about how fucking cold it was. I'm like, you live in Michigan. We grew up in Sheboygan.
But
for
it's
fuck's
California.
sake.
Like, I think they thought it was California, so it was supposed to be sunny and wonderful.
Yeah. The other thing I'd like to point out about this is, now I had gotten out of the state of Michigan, traveled the world a tiny bit, not like you, but traveled the world, gone to school in an age where if you go to a college, there's a lot of different cultures and you learn a lot of different things. And my dad went to college in the 1960s.
Yeah.
And he thought the chow chow hats in Chinatown were the funniest fucking thing in the world. Ooh. And if you can see that tail, the braid hanging off the back, that's from the fucking hat.
Yeah, well, okay, I didn't see that the first time.
He thought those were the funniest fucking thing. And I was just like, oh, God damn it, Dad, Jesus Christ.
In
Jesus
this photo,
Christ, Dad.
Your co-writer, Rob Otto, says the negative space in Scott's mustache in this photo looks like a stick man celebrating. And it totally does.
Dude, that fucking mustache was the bomb. Okay, next picture we got. There we go.
God.
Who's this?
This is my Senior prom, you guys.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Thankfully, you can't see this mother of the groom dress. It's like I was mad at the bride and I showed up in a white dress. Why did I wear? I went to prom in 1989. I could have worn a Jessica McClintock big bow across my boobs, cutie patootie dress, and I wore this monstrosity. What I will say is my high school sweetheart in this photo with me, his name is David. He is a sublime human being. He is still a sublime human being in my life. I love him to death. He rented a tux. I bought that monstrosity.
He looked sharp. He looked sharp.
Yeah, he looked sharp. He was wonderful. He bought me that beautiful corsage. To be fair, his mom helped me shop for this dress, and I chose this dress because when I walked out of the dressing room...
Girl, I agree with you. I see no problem with this dress.
Well, you haven't seen the bottom and the shitty shoes, but that's fair. When I walked out of the dressing room in this dress, she teared up and said, "Oh." Rob Otto said on Facebook, "You got married at your senior prom?" Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Actually,
what a terrible,
when I first saw this picture, I was looking at Rob. I'm like,
goodness.
"Oh, that's A and Peter, her former." And I'm like, okay,
that was me at 17.
Probably.
Yeah.
That does look like a fucking wedding dress.
But
you are fucking cute, though. I'll tell you that.
Well, I also had giant hair, which for me doesn't really.
And that giant goddamn smile, fucking the best shit in the world. All right, ready for the next one?
Sure. So this is Dawn Shipley in the 8th grade. Again, this one has a little bit of 80s hair. I agree with Dawn, but she's adorable. She's just so cute, and she's got her natural hair going, and I love that. But also...
You know what this picture says to me?
What?
That Dawn is probably on the softball team, and she will smile at you when she puts a fucking 62-mile-an-hour heater right in your fucking dome.
Yeah, she's
adorable. Like, bang! Fucking right in your dome. There you go. All right. Here we go. And...
Let's see what comes up next. Oh, here we go.
That's the
Tiny.
one. So, you guys, when I talk about the stick bug legs holding Gabriella Radu down, basically, look at my legs. Look at my legs. And I think I had to wear that jacket because his arms were even skinnier than the legs. Now, I want you to imagine...
why is there no difference between your calves and your thighs?
Well, because it's power. It's power. What you have to look at is when you can channel dark matter the way I could... Those pencil-thin, knobby-kneed legs, they had so much power.
So I have a question. Okay, so Steve Rickenberg on Facebook, Iceberg says on Facebook, if you turn sideways, you'd be invisible without the jacket, which is why I wore the jacket.
I look like a dung beetle, like this whole body, and then these tiny little legs going.
Okay, but I have a question.
Yes, Dr. Daniel, they were huge. They were paddles.
Welcome back, Cotter Hair. Yes, it is.
Mr. Cotter.
So I have a question.
Sure.
You historically wore glasses, but you don't have glasses here.
Yeah.
Were you wearing contacts or were you just without them?
You don't need glasses when you're battling for your life, my friend.
Okay, all right. It was close combat. We'll say it's close combat.
When you're into close combat martial arts, you don't need glasses because you know where the motherfucker is. You're going to go get him, and then you're going to take your fucking skinny-ass spider legs, and you're going to put him in a fucking figure four, and you're going to break his goddamn neck.
I have to say...
Michael Grace, I've skipped leg day my entire life. Thank you very much.
I have to say a couple of comments from his lifelong friends in Facebook
Danny Lundy,
chat
that's
room.
Actually correct.
Oh, yeah, it's Danny Lundy. So Rob Otto first says, a lifelong friend of Scott says, 80 pounds soaking wet, 40 pounds of that was hair. And then Dan Lundy said wearing the jacket was the only way he could make his weight.
All right, so I may have told the story before. We'll talk about this real quick. So Rob and I and Danny were juniors in high school. And Danny didn't wrestle, but Rob did. And we got wrestling. For the first time ever in Sheboygan High School, we got wrestling. So we got the shit kicked out of us, right? Because we're up against people who've been wrestling since the fucking 3rd grade, nonstop. I had that one seventh grade year you just saw. But we go in, and Coach Kuhn, who I've told you about many times.
Yeah, we have a bit of wrestling mat hanging in our bedroom.
Coach Kuhn, who... was probably 26 when they hired him as the wrestling coach and showed up to school in his El Camino with the camper top, which he lived in because he had showed up to Sheboygan High School after working the Alaska pipeline and lived in his car with his German Shepherd. No,
with his dog.
What's the one with the pointer? the killer.
German short-haired pointer.
No, the fucking murder dog. Doberman Pinscher.
Oh.
He lived in his car with his Doberman Pinscher. We were all like, this is the coolest motherfucker that ever fucking, are you fucking kidding me?
I feel like
fucking
he
everyone.
was the coolest motherfucker.
But he was cool because he's like, no one's cutting weight. None of you guys have ever done this before. You're going to get the shit kicked out of you. So whatever weight you happen to be right now, that is the weight you will wrestle at. So when Danny Lundy says the only way I could make weight was with a jacket on, my junior year, I wrestled at 126 and I probably weighed 120, 121. So just because I knew I was going to get the shit kicked out of me, to be an asshole, I would go to weigh in and there'd be these kids who had not eaten in 4 days, emaciated, sallow, can barely keep their eyes open. I would wear my singlet, my shoes with my headgear on the side and my entire warm up. And just to be a dick, I would bring my lunch. I would bring a brown paper bag with all the food I was going to eat during that.
And you weighed in at 126 pounds?
Yeah. And I
have not been that since the third grade.
I carried in like 6-7 pounds worth of shit, and I just looked at the guy who was going to wrestle, and I was just like, yeah, I'm eating all kinds of food, motherfucker. What's up? And then they would kick the fuck out of me. Senior year was completely different. But junior year, that was super fun. All right, going back to junkies.
Going back, we got, okay, so let's see what comes next.
If you can't physically beat a person, you have to mentally break them down.
Of course.
Mentally break them down.
Apparently.
Here we go. And the next one is,
this is my sophomore. Okay, you guys.
I would have dated you in high school all day long. Dated you all day.
Okay, you guys, listen. I have very fine hair. This was aquanetted to in an inch of my life. I have it's okay. Okay.
Bro, I love it. I fucking love it.
At some point, we're going to see my brother's senior photo. These were taken on the same day. So my brother was still is one of the coolest people I know, was absolutely the coolest cat in school. He was the prom king. He was the school mascot, which was Plainsman Pete.
When you're done, answer Rob's question, please.
Rob's question?
Rob says, how did you pick which side to put all your hair on?
Oh, because you can't quite tell, but on the other side of my head, that's shaved. That's just peach fuzz. It's shaved. I insisted.
All right. You guys.
It was terrible. Was terrible. And also, I have several things to say. One, I have blue eyeliner on my waterline. Boys, if you don't know what waterline means, that means on your lower inside lid. I have blue eyeliner because I was wearing a blue shirt. I also have fake pearls. I have a popped collar. I have
so good.
all the spots. And that hair is shaved. I didn't have a choice. That was what I opted to do.
Yeah,
and
Cobalt,
I have,
Breakfast Club, exactly.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Also, why didn't they fix my spots? What the fuck? It was 1988. They could have, or 87. They could have fixed those spots.
Counselor,
yes?
Point of order. All I can say is, if you ever doubt how fucking enamored I am with you, I look at this picture, I'm like, dude, I wish I'd met you in high school. I fucking wish I'd gone high school with you.
D79 says on Facebook, says, anyone else disturbed that A appears to be ageless? I will tell you, if you have young children in your life, let them be chubby.
Yeah.
Chubby doesn't crack. Chubby doesn't crack. It just doesn't. That's what happens. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Chubby don't crack.
Yes. And like you can sort of see like you can't quite tell, but I was trying to like not be, redheaded was weird at the time. Like I was trying to be darker haired and whatever. Well, okay, but I was in the 8th grade. What do you do? Or sophomore? I guess it wasn't in the 8th grade. I was in the sophomore. Yeah.
You fucking put on all your wrestling gear, get on the scale with your lunch, look them dead in the eye, and then you get your ass kicked.
But I do have the same teeth I had then. So let's go on. So this is the worst. Oh, this is my brother. This is so. Go back. The same day I took this photo. My brother took the quintessential 1987 photo.
Oh my God, some Matt Dillon shit going on right here, dude.
This
so good.
big swoop, he was the coolest cat in school. Again, he's
like an English shepherd. He can't fucking see out of one eye. It's crazy.
He was prom king. He was the school mascot, which was called Plainsman Pete. He was the coolest cat in school, and we had one teacher in common this year.
Maria, so me too. He's still my heart too. I'm like, that's a heartthrob right there. That's a heartthrob.
we had one teacher in common who taught film history or film something, 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 something. And I went into that class and we had the same last name. And he said, "Do you know Bubba Stenson?" And I was like, "What?" Right? And he was like, "Do you know Jude Stenson?" I said, "Jude is my brother." And he was like, "Do you call him Bubba?" And I was like... And I just couldn't do anything, right? I was like, I couldn't do anything. And apparently, on the first day of class, Jude was being a smartass, which is his skill set.
It's his way. He's very good at it.
Absolutely his skill set.
Because Jude and his best friend, Rob Otto, are very similar people.
Exactly. and apparently, he was asked what he'd like to be called, and he was like, "You can call me Bubba." And that motherfucker called him Bubba.
I would like to point out that Jude looks like he has
Jude's in the chat room on Facebook.
Jude looks like he has a camouflage face hugger crawling up the back of his head about to inflict some embryo shit upon his mouth.
He was the coolest. I legitimately couldn't even not finish my homework, and this motherfucker had a bedroom on the second floor of our house and
fucking Rob.
And jumped out of his bedroom window into a bush so that he could go hang out with his friends. And my parents spent, oh my goodness, so many months trying to figure out why that bush didn't thrive. And it was because Jude was dropping himself out of his second-story window to go hang out with his friends. And I had a bedroom on the first floor, and he'd come back and tap on my window to get back in, so that he didn't go through the front door and get in trouble.
Okay.
And I allowed that to happen because he is the coolest person I know.
All right, ready? Next picture. What do we got here? This is one of possibly my single favorite photo in the entire universe. This is junior Danny Baker. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this junior or senior? I believe junior football camp. Football camp in Sheboygan High School. Football was a fucking religion. It was absolutely, it dominated everything to do with the town. Everything revolved around high school football. And we would go to football camp at Camp Grayling, which is a National Guard camp. I'm not sure. A lot of sand, a lot of trees, fucking shit like that. And we would go live in this National Guard barracks for a week. And it was a way to get people quickly up to speed on the offense and the defense and all things, get people into condition, and also a way to get kids away from their folks and their families and their girlfriends, etc. And get, 60 guys to be like, we're fucking going, we're in this together. We're fucking bonding. Let's go. Part of that experience was the shaving of the head. The shaving of the head was a absolutely huge thing for, I would say, about half the team. I think Dr. Daniel Baker, PhD, shaved his head. I shaved my head. My favorite picture is when I got shaved my dad's head, which is around somewhere. But somebody took a picture of this, and that is my father, who I guess I'm 20 years older than he was in this picture right now, maybe? No, that's not right. 15 years older than he was in this picture right now. And with this sick-ass Fu Manchu. And this is a guy with a psychology degree who's in a small town in northern Michigan where football is a religion, fucking shaping the minds of young men. And there's me with my fucking head shaved, hanging out with basically who I thought was God at the time. My dad is so cool. My dad has always been the fucking most awesome person I've ever known. And you can tell
in this photo, he's the
Sean,
coolest.
That is not a tragic haircut. Those haircuts are dope. Because on the left, the gentleman on the left, my dad, that's the haircut I shaved.
So
I cut his hair for that. Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Also, Rickyberg Iceberg asks, what is happening on the back of your head?
Oh, I couldn't let go of my fucking mullet, dude. What are you talking about? I was going to braid that shit. Because even though my parents would not buy me a fucking guitar, even back in then, I had rock and roll dreams, baby. I'm like, I'm going to be in a band. Listen, I'm going to rock out.
Listen, everybody in the chat room.
Sean, go to hell.
Everybody in the chat room agrees with you that your dad was the coolest, and you...
I would like to point out that if you compare that earlier picture to the new picture, I actually gained as much as 7 pounds. Look at me. That's
Chris
almost a normal body.
Facebook
almost.
says, party in the back, bitches. Let's see what's next. We have a few other photos, so we have to... Okay, so
oh,
Jude, I told you. Listen, This is my brother and I. I am, I think, a freshman in college, and he, okay, I don't know what this is. I don't know, but I think it's probably in the mid-90s. And we were, my mother made us take a photo shoot. I tried very hard to find the photo where she asked us to put the crowns of our heads together.
Chris, he does have a lot of lettuce, doesn't he? Lettuce, gorgeous. Look at that hair. Look at both your hairs.
Yeah.
Fucking hairs
Jude,
are great.
Yeah, Jude remains the coolest person I know. Yeah. But I was texting with him earlier today, and he was like, God, I miss that denim shirt. I would like to point out I'm wearing brown.
Shirt? It's a denim shirt?
It's
Is it button down? Nice.
And he's got a tie on. You can't see.
We got to get fucking matching denim shirts. We got to do it.
I'll also say, this is very short hair I have. I cut it for a show because I was acting back then, and it's got so much Aquanet in it. So much. And I'm wearing brown. I'd like to point out, I no longer wear brown.
Listen, baby, I'll tell you, I would kill most of the people in this picture show for their hair. I won't kill you for your hair.
Chris, I'm not cool enough to have a DJ named Chris
Yeah,
Cullen.
you do.
Facebook says.
Yeah, you do. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out, though. Before the end of the show, I'm going to figure out a DJ name.
Yeah. Martin Evans has it right.
You know
Breaking
what it is?
Bad
you know
and
what it is?
Beavis.
You know what it is? You know what your name is? DJ Laundry.
Let's see what's next.
DJ Laundry. And then we're back.
Oh, we're back. We're done.
Home. Okay.
Oh, we did them all. Okay. Well, I thought there were littler ones. There were tiny pictures of us, but maybe that didn't.
So we had, because shit got screwy with the cameras and everything.
That's okay. It's 7:15 anyway.
Also,
so
how is it that
DJ Red I like better, Daryl. Thank you.
How is this camera so dark and you and I still look like fucking poltergeists? What the fuck is going on with our Irish complexion?
It doesn't matter.
Dude, we can't. Oh, we gotta talk about it. It's so expensive. It's so expensive.
We'll get new cameras tomorrow. It's fine. Wait, yeah. Where's Rob's? Where's Rob's?
Shit!
I told you there's something missing.
No. Yeah, right. Oh my God. Thank you, Rob.
I tried to.
Not that
him.
Rob ever says, "Hey, make it about me." Okay, hold
Angela again.
No, let's go back to Maine.
Angela. I'll talk to you guys. So we are continuing to have the craziest month. I did put all of these in the right file.
You guys, just watch A in the upper right corners. I fucking figure this shit out.
We are having a crazy month. We are trying to. We already have Slay. The ebook for Slay, book 1, coming out on May 1st. That will still be there. That will be on Amazon. After Amazon, we'll do everything else. We are working on the audiobook and a print version, which will only be
just
paperback.
Keep chatting, girl.
And we're going to do that probably, obviously, after May 1st. We are too late to have an audiobook or a print book on May 1st, but we're going to do that as soon as we can after that. Iceberg and I are going to work on the audiobook, and I'm going to work on the print book, probably with our Diva of Design. And
there it is.
There it is. And we also have a couple of others, but we'll probably
who are the others, babe?
I
can do this one right now.
There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The hottest thing we've ever shown on
Ladies
Place.
and gentlemen.
What?
You're going to have to lean over here if you want to talk, baby. Listen, this is a sexy bitch right here. Look at that fucking hair. Look at that look at
and stash.
And that stash. This is the absolute sickness. Is Rob Otto. Rob Otto still got game. And Rob Otto's game now.
The hotness.
Keep in mind, Rob Otto is literally twice the man he used to be in this fucking picture right here. Rob is literally twice the weight he was in this picture, and he still got game. So imagine this motherfucker sliding on up to a fucking bar, looking like that with all the fucking chops and the game.
He's the hotness now. He was the hotness then.
Incredible.
When he sent me this photo a couple of weeks ago, I quite literally wrote back like, "Oh my God!" Oh my God, the hotness.
Dude, I love this man. He's fucking awesome.
I know.
I love back then. This picture is so, especially look at, he's saying some bullshit.
D79
his mouth is twisted because he's saying bullshit.
Women love him and men want to be him.
That's correct. That is correct. Also, you know, what is ever coming out of his mouth right now is an absolute fucking lie. It is a lie. It is a lie because he lies.
Abby on Facebook says it's the lip curl that does it.
Yep.
And it is totally true. And David Lamb, I do believe this is high school.
Also, what's up with the fucking French Foreign Legion mustache? What's going on? Are you
love
shipping
it.
off?
I don't
Are you
care.
shipping off to fucking Algiers, bro?
I do not
really?
care.
Do you
works.
have a difficulty with the captain and you
You're
must
jealous.
get back to your sweetheart and fucking, you know.
You might be jealous. It
Of
works.
course I'm fucking jealous. Fucking A.
It works so well.
It's so good.
It's so great.
All right, so I'm going to get rid of Rob now. Bye, Rob. Goodbye, Rob. And any
so
pictures
perfect.
we didn't get, we will get later. Sorry, I got to get rid of the thirst trap picture we just posted. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I complain about thirst traps all the time on Twitter and on fucking Threads. But you know what? We posted a thirst trap. Sometimes it fucking happens. It's great.
You can't help it if he looks like him.
You can't be, you know what? You can't change who you are, dog. You can't change who we are. Mm-hmm. I just stumbled on that. I'm on my third scotch. It's been a strong day, dog.
It's been a crazy
And by
day.
strong, I mean, hey, did I poop my pants day? It's been a shit day. I am going through some shit on Warpath right now.
Which he can't talk about.
Fam, I can't talk about the plot. I'm trying to figure out a way I can say this without breaking my NDA.
Maybe we should just kiss off into the sky.
Editors.
Apparently we're not doing that.
Editors.
Rob, you're right.
Yeah, we'll kick off into the sky. Oh my God, we went late. We'll show the IMAT next week, and let's switch back to Maine. Shabao.
We're gonna get
we
new
don't look quite
cameras.
as bad here, do we?
No, we're fine. We're just a little
All right.
pixelated.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm Max Headroom.
first of all, I forgot the schedule of the stank. Sunday, April 28th, Slave 57 will go live in the feed. We just heard tonight after it's been edited by fucking flock of seagulls right here. It's going to take care of that shit for me. Wednesday, May 1st, live read of Slave 58. And oh shit, Becky, it's fucking Slay Day. It is the day
Wednesday.
Slay comes out in ebook, the official publication date of Slay Book 1, co-written with Mr. Rob Otto.
Who you just saw.
By the way, this chap will be our guest next week. This is going to be a fucking Slices Live you do not want to miss, because you'll miss out on this little fucking slice of 80s right here, dog. You don't want to miss it. So we'll have Rob on as our guest next week. It's going to be fucking super fun. And that's fucking it. That's it.
Until then.
Next week, Slay episode 58, bad shit's going to happen. And then Rob will be on after that to make you feel better. He'll be the palate cleanser. The palate cleanser. Yes, darling.
Until then, we want you to stay smart. We want you to stay science.
And for the love of science, and for the great state of Arizona, who has finally decided to do something about ne'er-do-wells who wanted to hijack fucking democracy. And
things.
someone will finally be fucking held accountable for that fucking bullshit. And Michigan is next, you bitches. Michigan is fucking next. But we don't get political on this show. We want you to stay informed. We want you to stay informed.
We love you guys. Come back next week that you can see the gorgeous Rob Otto
Come back and watch
and the gorgeous Scott Sigler talk about their gorgeous book.
Oh, listen, they have to listen to my shit all the time. But I would like to point out this last thing. This gentleman's first published novel will be coming out next week. This brilliant, if slightly misguided and morally ambiguous man.
Only because he's friends with you.
He is going to shine on you crazy diamond next week, and we can't fucking wait. We love him. We love you. Now you can
love you
all
guys.
fucking kiss off into the sky. Ha, 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 ha.